big fucking eye right there. Oh, the other one. I don't know where the other one is for that. I'm going to be switching over channels. I'm going to go over to some other channels to work because the Michael Oziak channel I can't get into again. It's another, it was like this yesterday, the day before. Every fucking day I got to go through this shit. So I'm going to keep doing the series. I'm going to keep working on this series. I'll try a few different things, but one thing is I'm going to bring this particular series, though, I'm going to bring over to the Miguel Everyone channel and finish it up over there. I'm going to go up to 200 to 300 parts. I'm going to get really heavy into the Metellus. I'm about to go into the moon and get into the moon. I'll do a lot better of a job going in at the moon than I did in the Sylvie Bird series. And I got to get back to Abe's channel, too, a little bit over the next week or two. But I'm going to do it all on the Miguel Everyone channel. This channel is so corrupted right now because I didn't have to deal with none of this shit before for the last 6 months or whatever. When I was working on the medical channel, I didn't allow anyone to follow me over to the medical channel, so therefore they were all done. There was nothing really they could do. The Michael Oziak channel just sat. Miguel Everyone channel just sat. And I worked on that, but then what happened was YouTube got a hold of that channel, and now there's nothing left to it. There wasn't a hell of a lot to it, but it was a couple series. So, I have a fucking pain in the balls. I knew that. What the fuck is that? I knew that going at the people who believe that they live on a ball was going to be worse and more of a pain in the ass than dealing with the flat earthers. I was calling out flat earthers throughout all this as secondary. First was family and friends was first, and acquaintances and people on the street. Then after that, then I went for the flat earthers, because a few of them pissed me off. Jamie Lee from A Plain Truth, when I brought it to his attention, and so I said, fuck it, let's go with the flat. Figured the flat earthers were the best chance because they all had the balls to wake up to the idea that they were not on a ball. They were able to get past that idea and say, come on, how the fuck could we not be living on a ball? I mean, everybody believes this. We were taught it in our schools. And we went down a lot of lines that, Ziggy is someone that's mailing me, and Ziggy, I'm gonna get to you. I'm gonna ask you to come over to the other channel and do a series with me. You seem like a nice guy. I understand your complaints and issues with what I'm saying, and maybe I can help you to see another side to it. But I don't get this. I don't get the assumption, Ziggy, by the way, that you're the one blowing up my phones, my computer, and stealing my YouTube account and doing all this kind of shit. You seem older and more mature. I think that's somebody else. That's why I'm saying, if you want to go work with me over there, we'll do a series. We'll finish up Harold's series together. Anyways, people that think that they're living on a ball are a lot harder to deal with. They're so fucking arrogant. They're even more arrogant than any of the other religions, they're never going to get over their thoughts, their beliefs, and they think that they're surrounded by evidence and facts. That's what science they think is. All factual and evidence and that. No, it's not. You're just saying that it is. You're claiming that it is. None of it is. We can go through it item by item, but I don't have the time or the interest. Those seem like distractions to me. I'll mention things here and there. I'll talk about a little bit of shit here and there about it. There's no filter on the camera, by the way, for anybody that's watching. Um, yeah, I mean, you keep going through the history books, Ziggy, and you're going through the history books, and you're reminding me of all these things in history. That's great. You have a good memory. Your memory may be better than mine. You'll remember the dates better and all that kind of things. But you're not. Let me try to stay calm about this. You're only memorizing the lies. It's a program. So if you memorize the lies, yes, you go further in this fake ass fucking biosystem. Yes, I agree with that. And I'm definitely the odd man out, as far as that goes, right? So when you hear me saying that education is the reverse of intelligence, intelligence and even intelligence, I'm only using words that I'm allowed to use, but there's other words that should be used for all these things to describe these things. Even the word true, factual, or reality, these are all conspiracy words nowadays. And it took them a long time, thousands of years to make these words conspiracy words. And in other words, people hear me say, my neighbors out here hear me talking to the camera and I say the word truth, reality, freedom, right? Anything like this. I'm joking about freedom, but seriously about the truth and thing. So they'll say, oh my God, what's he talking about? He must be fucking nuts. Talking about truth, reality. He must be one of those conspiracy people, because they get a taboo word as part of the programming, and we're all set to it, So, when we do this series, we'll go through some of those things. If you want to do it with me, I'm open to it. But Pearl Harbor, to say that Pearl Harbor, yes, you got the date, I get the date wrong, or things like that, and I'm not paying attention when I'm talking about, because I'm really not taking it all that seriously about the dates or what you think are facts, because it's all a fucking joke. My point of that statement, and I'm glad to see you're going back and watching some of my old videos, because no one else fucking does, but I made that statement several times, and yes, those things are all bullshit. I mean, how could you think for a second that at that time, whatever date you want to tell me that it happened, I will believe you. But at that time, we also had radio communication between each other, Morse code even, from ship to ship. So you don't get all those airplanes. Okay, I was wrong about the amount of airplanes that, made it over or whatever. But still, we were in the hundreds. So hundreds of planes make it all the way from Japan all the way to, Hawaii shore without any boat seeing them and sending a message up ahead that, hey man, something's going on. Just seen fucking, hundreds of fucking planes going overhead, heading your way. Come on, man. The fucking message would have got back there. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. We create. I shouldn't say they, because I'm one of the 7.8 billion zombies. We create our false fucking history. I'm watching it happen in my lifetime. Everything that goes down, everybody takes it one way and says it's another way, and it's right in front of our face, and you're like, what? What did he just say? Wait a minute, how could that possibly be? I mean, I should be able to, park 15 fucking jets in that building, and it would not fall at free fall speed like you're showing it. That's mass underneath holding it up. There's mass, whether it's stone, rock, glass, fucking metal, all these things. That means that mass, it would have to slowly crumble down if it was burning for weeks or something, and it would tilt over and fall over. It would not do what it did. So how can we all look at that? We already cried it out. But how do they do it? They put out all the conspiracy shit. They put out the conspiracy stories. Hey, everybody's debating it. Oh my God, if you try saying that, you're a traitor, you're a crazy person, you're insane to think that. Who are you blaming for this? Wait a minute, let's not get into all that. Let's just stop right there at the way that the building fucking fell. Can we just stop it there and not have to go through all the other shit and argue back and forth, and then neither one of us gets to fucking make our point? Nobody gets through to anybody, because the debate becomes about the debate, kind of like what you guys are all doing to me when I'm calling out Harold. And that's what everybody seems to do when I call out their heroes. I'm calling out the hero about what he's saying, the things that they're saying and talking about. I didn't call out Santos Bonacci for the fame and fortune. Didn't bring me any fucking riches. It's not what the point of this is. The point of this is to call them out so that they will see what I'm saying. Yes, they'll be angry at me for the way that I'm talking to them and things like that. But if they get over their ego for fucking 10 minutes, they'll go look at what I'm saying and they'll be able to put more to this than even I can. And maybe possibly somebody else that's just an average Joe. I'm always looking for the average Joe. I think they would have better input, just that the average Joe don't have the balls to come out and look and say the things that I'm saying to you, because they're stuck in programs too. So they don't have the fucking balls. If they came and looked, they would gain the confidence, because once you see it all, you gain the confidence, and then you say, okay, I got it. Everybody else fucking ain't got shit. So I may not have all the answers, but I'm just letting everybody know that I found the system, and I'm looking for the answers. Come on in, help me out. Let's find the answers to all this. So to try to make crazy conspiracy shit out of it all, like some of the people are doing. I'm not saying you, Ziggy, when I'm talking right now. I know you're not trying to do that. You're just going by your programs, and your programs go along with a lot of Harold's programs, and I understand that. I have other videos where I'm talking nicely and I'm trying to explain my points that I'm making and trying to be clear as I can about them without swearing. But sometimes, things piss me off and I fucking talk shit. So that's the way it goes. It doesn't mean what I'm saying is not true because it has the word fuck after it, or the word asshole, in between it. It's still just, listen to the fucking words, go look for yourself, and you will see what I'm saying. But if you're going to keep opening those history books and trying to tell me that, it's all about the, history, and we got to look back there to find the answers and stuff. No. We've been fucked down that road too many times. I'll go down that road later after we go through all the rest of this, when I'm showing you what you can, feel, hear, see, touch for ourselves. Because I'm going to take you to the Metellus. Because I had some fake responses of people that are pretending that they want to know about the Metellus. And I'm going to really lay in good to the Metellus. This is going to be a good part of the series. So I am switching over to the Miguel Anyone channel. So anybody that's interested in the Metellus, you're going to have to go over there, because I'm not going to keep fucking around with the YouTube shit. Let them have the channel. They want the Michael Oziak channel. Let them fucking have it. Everyone thinks it's so important, like it's some big fucking deal, a big channel or something. It's fucking got no subscribers, no views. It's not shit. I'm not worried about it. I'll go to one of the other channels and I'll build it up again. There's no big deal. So anyways, the Metellus. So I'll get into the Metellus, and Ziggy, I think, you should pay attention to a lot of this stuff. You're not asking much about the Metellus. You guys want to keep going down the lane of nanobots. Nanobots are fictional, people. I mean, it's fucking fictional. Space alien robots that are here in nano size and stuff. I mean, it's all really ridiculous. They have no evidence of anything like this. What I'm telling you, you can go see for yourself. The evidence is all around us, I mean, I've explained it in past series. I try to explain things the best that I can to show you that the imagery, the builders, and get your head wrapped around that. If you're not going to look, then there's nothing I can do. I mean, you come in and look at one image in one video, and when I'm telling you that it's the whole entire system. So why, I could say something like I normally do and say, well, why wouldn't you just look at the rest of the images? There was hundreds of thousands of images in that same frame. Why are you debating about one image that you're claiming looks like a dinosaur? And I can go in and show you that it's not a dinosaur. I can show you the nose on it. That's a rodent's fucking nose. I can bring you around in every different angle, because you're going to get different imagery in that image. That one same image you're seeing a dinosaur. I can move the camera around and we can get every image out of it, every one. So out of that one image in that area, as we spin the camera around and angle the camera, I'm not exaggerating, there's thousands of images, because that's a crisp, clear image. In other words, the minerals that are in that area that you're seeing that image, they're really good. The colors are good. It's good contrast for your eyes, all that shit. And the imagery is cut out very crisp. Different minerals will offer a different look. Some will be spiky, some will be swoopy. It's going to depend not only the minerals, but it does have when it's human influence, it's definitely the minerals. Because we add the minerals to change the light. You change the light, you change the frequency. You can bounce the frequency around, put it that way. Or you can plant billions upon trillions of trees, convince the human population that the trees are so fucking important and we would not be here if it wasn't for the trees, and you convince the zombies of this, and what the trees do is they absorb all the energy. They absorb the energy from the sun that we need. That's our connection, right? That's our connection is all the energy that's around us with the sun, the stars, the moon. They're ruining that connection. They absorb it. And as the natural current of this earth that we live on comes swooping around, I should say in when I'm thinking of this, because I'm talking about the whole realm, but from the veil to the ground, at least, anyways, you know, and below the ground, that magnetic pull and that magnetic current is always going. How humans want to fuck up that current and disrupt it in any ways, that's how we do things. And then, you know, so we can have an influence on this natural system that way. But when you tell everybody the opposite of reality, the opposite of truth, the opposite of what they can just see for themselves if they go look, then you would realize that the trees are truly our fucking enemy. Not our enemy, but we've overdone it. We've overdone it. It's okay to have trees. I'm not saying that trees should not exist. They should have a right to exist. But I would get a lot smaller with them if it was in my fucking control. We don't need anything beyond a 15, 20-foot tree. We don't need them way up there stealing the energy from all the other smaller species and creatures. And we also don't need the big roots that, you know, when you see a tree going up 150 feet, its roots are going down 150 feet. So what it's doing is taking all of our clean water. They soak up all these trillions and trillions of trees that you're smacking on the back, everybody, and you guys are all fucking hooting for and saying, let's save the trees, and planting them all over the fucking place. You're not doing yourself as a human being any favors, not as electrical creatures, at least anyway. You're going further and further bio, you're going further and further fungi, because the trees drink all that water that it has the minerals that our bodies should be absorbing. Instead, we get our waters from a water plant that's filled with fluoride, which fluoride being a runoff from the waste plants, which they don't let you know about, is a metallus. So they put the metallus in your body in the waters, in the foods, and everything you do, because that's what it is. It's a metallus that they can slowly put in your body, then control your body with the metallus. All your sicknesses, all your ailments is all controlled by the metallus. Thousands of nanometallus, from bios to nanos for that matter, but the nanos and the electrodes that you look at as dust, or you look at it and you go, oh, that's fungus. No, it's not metallus eating the fungus. That's not true. And living off the fungus, no, that's not what it is. And what you're looking at when you see fungus are the metallus. You're looking at a certain strain of a nanometallus that all builds up together, and then each little nanoparticle that joins together builds up this, what we call fungus. Mold. It's very simple. You can see it all. So when I take you through the and I'll be able to show it to you, and then this way you can go look at it for yourselves. I mean, it's all been right in front of us all the time. I mean, when we talk about the metallus, wait till you see the biometallus, you're gonna be like, what the fuck is he talking about? It's all over the place. I mean, it's everywhere, man. And you're gonna go out. I'm gonna take you to the lawn, the garden, show it to you there. I'm gonna show it to you. Then we'll start working our way through the sheds, the barns, hundreds of different metallus. Once we get through all these biometallus, I'll show you the spider metallus and explain to you that the spider metallus web looks nothing like a spider web. I'm not even sure why we call them spider metallus. They you know, I guess they're kind of spidery looking, but they really should have their own name. And their webs are not built to catch other creatures. They're not using their webs for that. They're not eating on their webs. They're not going around their webs and even eating the dust off them or anything like that, the spider metallus. The spider metallus are using the webs to lay their eggs in so that their eggs are secure. They have a very short lifespan. They lay immediately. They're all born, not all of them, but most of them are born pregnant. And it's not like they have, they're not transgenders. They don't have male and female organs. It's not like that, right? If you think about it. And I'm saying that because people don't understand how they hybrid. And to be honest with you, I'm not even sure I'm using the proper terminology. So, anybody that comes and looks for themselves, Mr. Scientist out there, Ziggy, then you'll know and you'll be able to see for yourself. You'll be able to tell me. You'll be able to say, oh, I see what's going on here. Yep, you're right. Okay, I gotcha. You don't even have to say you're right. You just say you were wrong, and here, let me tell you the right way. And then show me how it is. Because what happens is once they they just go live in another area, and then they hybrid. So for example, the spider metellus that's living on the lawn, you bring it in with your lawnmower, right? Hundreds of different metellus, not all just spider metellus. Believe me, there's all these other metellus that are all over the lawn. And you drive your lawnmower into the garage. Your garage is connected to your house. And maybe you even have a garden near your garage and whatever too. So everything that was on your lawnmower is now bouncing off, jumping around, and doing their things, and depending on which metellus they are. Now, all the metellus are on there. The bio, the hybrid, the electro, and the nano are all on the lawnmower. Okay, we're not seeing the other two, the electros and the nanos, the way that you think, because once they get to electros, they don't have legs, they don't have eyes, as I explained, and all that. So I won't even get into them. Still, right now we're only on bios and hybrid bios. So anyways, you bring the lawnmower in. Now, everywhere that those metellus make it to, whether they have legs and they're walking there, or whether they're traveling on electromagnetic current, in other words, wind, somebody opens the garage door, a breeze comes through, a gust of electromagnetic current carries these metellus to another destination. Now, let's say they were dust metellus. They were living on the lawn eating the dust. They like the dry, dusty stuff. They don't want the wet, fungusy stuff, right? So what they do is they live in the garage on a sidewall somewhere where now there's moisture. They lay their eggs real quick. Their eggs are now born in this moisture area. They just somehow magically turn into another metellus that likes moisture. And this goes on and on and on, and back and forth for that matter. And you can watch this happen. Matter of fact, we all been watching it happen. What we do is we lie to ourselves. When we see the metellus webs, the spider metellus webs in the house, they've already hybrid. They've already hybrid as soon as they go into the house, okay? They went from a spider metellus living on the lawn, in the grass, in the garden, and on the trees and all that. They went from living out there. Now you bring them in the house. Any which way. It don't have to be the lawnmower. It could be your clothes. It could be respiratory metellus. It could be the airborne ones. Whatever. They're all coming in different ways, and they all make their way. We don't kill them off anymore the way we used to. So what happens is now you got vegetables that are from the grocery store sitting on the table, even if they're GMO. Even if they're GMO, it doesn't matter. The metellus are not, these metellus that I'm talking about when they're hybriding, they're going from the outside into the vegetable. So then they fall off your clothes, they come from the lawnmower, they come inside the house, and all of a sudden you'll bring in vegetables from the outside. Use that as an example. Now, the vegetables you're bringing in from the outside, them metellus are already in there from the start. They're inside working their way out, just like the human body does, because we breathe them in, we take them in our food, we inhale them in our skin, they're in our water, as I said, so in the shower, when we're taking showers, all these different ways we take the metelluses in, and then we absorb them in our bodies, and our livers try to soak them up, just to let you know. Our livers do see them as a toxin, try to soak them up. That accounts for all these overfilled livers and everything that we do nowadays. But I guess the point I'm trying to make before this video ends is that they've already hybrid by that time. And then what do we start doing is we call them cobs. They're cobwebs when we see them in the house, right? We'll see them around the house. Or when they eat up the vegetables, we'll call that rot. It's rotting. The vegetables are rotting because they're sitting on the counter. No, they're not. The vegetables are rotting because I brought in the other vegetables the other day from the garden, didn't think about it. I did wash them outside, but washing them that ain't the whole answer, is it? Because when you're just washing them with soap and water, you only kill the adults. You're only knocking, not even killing them all, you're just knocking them off, really. Even if you kill the adults that are on the outside, because now you're only knocking off the bios and the In the hybrids, at that point, when you're outside cleaning your vegetables with the hose and everything, you're rinsing them off. Then when you bring them inside, then I washed them more thoroughly, and then I started realizing what was happening over the years, right? They call those cobwebs. Why? I don't know. You tell me. Go look that up, Ziggy, in your dictionary, or find out where the fuck did they come up with the name cob. Okay, so I have to steal that name cob, otherwise no one will know what I'm saying, and call it a cob metellus. Sorry, that's what it is. They're cob metelluses. So the cob metellus are all over the fucking house, building webs and what you call webs, but they're not really webs. That's where they're laying their eggs in those. They hold on better. They have a sticky substance that can hold on to anything, really. That's why you'll find them in the corners of the house, the corners of the garage, the corners of the shed. They'll be all over the fucking place. I'm going to take this camera over the next couple of days, and we're going to go through all the biometallus. It won't take me long, probably 2-3 parts of the series, and I'll bring you all the bios, the hybrids, and then from there I'll start showing you the electros and the probably do a little bit along the way, because it's easy to find. There was one time I was doing a video on the cats. I was giving both of the cats coconut baths, and as I was giving them the bath, I was watching the video back later, and the electrometallus are flying right by the fucking camera. I don't like to use the word flying, but again, so people understand, I don't even like to use the word floating, because they're moving purposely on electromagnetic current, and you can see them going right by. Now, most people see this going by a camera, and they call it what? Dust. Right? You call it dust. It's not dust. There's nobody kicking none dust around. There's no fucking dust in the room to be going around. The only thing going on was me putting coconut oil on the fucking cats. These things caught a little bit of a current, not enough for me to fucking feel, nothing moving around. And another thing that proves that is they're going in all different directions. It's the ones that you're seeing in the camera, one will go by one way, zip. The other one goes by another way, zip. Another one goes straight up, zip. Another one a little while later goes down, zip. They're going in all different ways. So, and no one's moving. There's no one in the room moving around the camera. You can see that in the video, because I'm sitting there talking, my mouth fucking not blowing out breath in every direction, is it? No. So, if I was talking at the camera or whatever. So there's it's all around us, is my point. It's so easy to see. It's just that nobody will look. You're going to refuse to fucking look. And then when you do look, you're going to call it some other thing that's part of one of your programs, instead of continuing to look. Take that one, for example. You go identify that metellus, right? And then you go identify it. You're going to immediately start making up all these excuses in your mind. Wait a minute. No, the fucking dinosaurs this, and space aliens that, and Harold Kautz said this, and fucking this one said that, and the moon and the gravity and all this fucking shit. You're going to be all over the place. Don't do that to yourself. Keep going. Just keep studying the metellus. Keep looking for them and watching them work. It doesn't take much. They're all around you. You just have to observe. Open your eyes. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to go to the fucking mall. You don't have to go to the store for any of this. You can see it all for yourself everywhere you go. Because there's hundreds of places I cannot get into, because I only got 5 minutes left of doing this video. Imagery is fucking banging. Cannot miss it. You think any of my neighbors are coming out and saying, "Hey, Mike, I see it. I fucking see it now." Fuck no, man. We're fucking dealing with 7.8 billion zombies. Do you think my family's fucking... Oh, the phone's ringing. Oh, there's everybody in my family calling me. You were right. I looked up and I seen the clouds. You were right. Fuck no, man. It doesn't work that way. Too many distractions. Too much programming. No one's ever going to wake up the way that I'm trying to wake people up. So, I don't expect them to. But I do enjoy the little bit of back and forth, because it gives me something to do, I guess, rather than talking to myself all the time. So, for you guys to have your input, whether if it's at least your input's not really crazy and out there to the point where I don't think you're purposeful. At least you're going by things that you've been programmed with, and some of the other people that have been writing me are just throwing out other shit that sound like they're not really being real. They're not being themselves, They're just being characters. So Ziggy, I thank you for that. I'll mention, and I'm going to keep mentioning you. I'm not going to respond to your emails though, because someone's blowing up my computers and shit. So I'm just going to respond in messages like this. I'm going to ask you to please set up another account and come into Miguel Everyone channel, and let's finish up Harold Kautz series together. I think you'll have fun with it. Even though you don't like me and everything like that, who cares? Don't worry about it. You don't have to fucking like me. If you get something out of it, then who cares about the guy who gave it to you, the information. And I'm not really giving you the information. I'm just giving you a way of seeing what I'm trying to show you. That's it. I don't have all the answers. I don't know the sound frequencies and the sine waves that are proper for each Metellus to kill each one. So when I was telling Harold about killing the Metellus with sine waves and sound waves and shit like that, he would know better than I would what those waves are. I'm getting closer to it accidentally, coincidentally, only because I'm paying attention to everything. It's not because I'm not going online, that's for sure, and looking for the information. I'm not going on Wikipedia and saying, gee, what sound frequency and sine waves would be best to kill. Somebody else could be doing that, because we know that you can go to the store and you can buy those little things that you plug in the wall and they kill certain bugs, right? Some of they put out a certain sound frequency that humans are not even hearing, and they're killing off certain bugs, right? That would be the sound frequency. I just thought of this very second. With all the 2 years of my fucking doing this, I just thought of experimenting with that. I never thought of it before. That's what all you guys should be doing. You guys that think that I'm an asshole should be going and looking at what I'm showing you, and then you should go do those experiments. I might have just stumbled onto some huge fucking thing. I never thought of it before. I do know that the biochemicals that are killing off the biometellus are also killing the hybrid metellus, the electrometellus, and the nanometellus. I do know that. I do know that coconut oil that blows up the biometellus, it blows them up not to explode, it just bloats them. They get very bloated. Coconut oils, pure fucking coconut oil, that's all it takes, but you gotta saturate your body with it for a long time in order for it to really do the good that it needs to do, and you gotta do that without killing the host. But anyways, that's just something I coincidentally came across, and as I watched them, it furthered and furthered, and I realized, oh my God, it's not just killing them, it's bloating them. So they're bloating up, so that means if it's bloating the bios and the hybrids and the electros that I can see with my eyes, is it bloating the nanos? And then sure enough, fucking nanos are fucking peering in my coconut oil. Wow, what do you know? These are not electros. These don't look like the electros. They don't look like the hybrids, and they don't look like the bios. These are something different. This is a nanometellus. Boom, got the answer to that one, right? So that's how we turned in from, that's how I originally went from biometellus down the line, and I found the hybrid metellus. Then I realized that, wait a minute, where the fuck are their legs? Wait a minute, why don't they have any eyes? And then I started showing it to people and showing this to people. They turn their fucking heads and run. And then once they fucking run away, they'd run away saying, that's just dust. That's just dust, Mike. Bye. Or they'd run away saying, that's just mold. that's just fungus. See you later. And they fucking run away, right? They would not stay and watch the characteristics of any of them. They wouldn't do any of the fucking things that I was doing. It was just coincidence that I found the things that I found. So far, it's only been coincidence, because it's not like I'm able to share it with anyone. They refuse it. They'll run away. All right, what the fuck was I talking about now before about the Metellus? The Metellus again. The Metellus, I'll bring you out to the shed. I'm going to show you a chicken coop that's been closed down for, quite a long time, well over a year, filled with the Metellus. The house cameras that are over on that chicken coop, like I was showing you guys in the camera the other day, that thing is always banging with the Metellus, jumping all over. It doesn't matter what kind of day or night it is. I can bring you to that camera, and you look at all the cameras on the house, right? And because of the what do you call it? The infrared. Right? Is that what it's called? Infrared lighting. Yeah. The infrared lighting allows you to see them. And you'll see them all over the place jumping around in that fucking chicken coop. But yet when you go to the other cameras on the house, just see a little bit. It's not so bad, it's not so much. They got the same fucking lighting. They got the same cameras. I have control over if I want to turn CFLs on one side of the house, like I said, LEDs on another side. And then what you'll notice by trying these different light sources, they're attracted to, they get excited by, instead of going in one direction and following the regular current that might be going by, they'll stop right in front of the light and jump around in front of the light for a little while, that kind of thing, before they move on, energizing themselves. Doing the same shit in the human body. They do the same thing. They're working off our electrical system when they're in our body, the same way they're doing out here on a bio, hybrid, and electro scale, So, you can prove all these things to yourself, for yourself. Looking at the time, what I got on there. Imagery is fucking amazing. Hopefully you're seeing some of this, Ziggy. I hope you do. I could use a little reality in my fucking life, so... anyways, fuck with the chickens and go watch the chicken Metellus, right? Because your science will only tell you that there's one bird mite, maybe two bird mites, something like that. It's not the case. There are 15 different bird Metellus, 15 of them that I can show you with your eyes that you see. They're still fucking probably living in the shed, I bet you. Some of these bird Metellus, what those do is, again, you can watch the hybrid process right from the grass, the lawn. And some of the Metellus that live in the lawn, again, like the wet stuff, some like the dry stuff. Keep that in mind as we go along. And the ones that like the dry stuff eventually become these, actually they all do, but the ones that I'm thinking of are called hay Metellus, because the other ones will turn into these dust Metellus that you're pretty familiar with and stuff like that. They'll be all over the fucking house, and if you turn on different lights and stuff like that, you'll see dust floating around in the house, and you look at that as nothing. You don't think of it as a living thing. You think of it as just, it's skin that rubbed off from the body, or however you describe it and stuff like that. Now, these are all different Metelluses that are all floating around in the atmosphere. There may be other things that are floating around with them, but I don't even see much of that anymore. Now that I'm realizing that all those different colors are representing different Metellus, so they're all going to be looking for different things when they finally land wherever they land. So if they, let's say, a bunch of dust Metellus go land in your shed, or they're outside and they land on the chickens while they're playing outside, things like that, they take them back into the shed. They'll work their way all around the fucking shed, the chicken coop, whatever. So let's say you got a bale of hay laying there. Now, some of the Metellus are coming from the hay because the farm they came from had the Metellus, so there'll be several strains in that bale of hay. Some are like in liquids, some are because they're taking the rest of the liquids out of the hay. The other ones are like the dry stuff, like I keep saying. So eventually those will make it to the chickens. The ones that are on the hay will make it to the chickens, and the ones in the chickens that came on outside will make it to the fucking hay pile, right? So they're all hybriding, is what I call it. They're all now becoming lawn Metellus, right? Because that's what they would call those ones a lot of times, lawn mites, they call them. So these lawn Metellus, now in every one of these Metellus families, also to let you know, because it's very important, is as Harold was trying to say, but not saying it quite correctly, in my opinion, my humble opinion, I'll say, there's cannibal Metellus. The cannibal Metellus, I don't think, are nearly as good as a lot of the other predators of the Metellus, but we would need them on the electro scale and the nano scale, no doubt. We would need them, because I'll use ladybugs as the example for that. There's three main killers that are larger bugs. Ladybugs can eat, I don't know, maybe a couple thousand nanometellus, per minute, right, or some number. You guys are the scientists. You guys figure out the fucking number. Just don't tell me space aliens are doing it, and I'll believe you, please. or dinosaurs or some ridiculous shit, all right? Because this is shit that you can just see for yourself, okay? So the ladybugs will eat up. Now, ladybugs' frequency has been turned down, way down. Same thing was with the bumblebee. The bumblebee was eating a lot of the Metellus. The bumblebees, that's why the bumblebees went down, and they did not turn down the hornets, the yellow jackets, the African sting bees, and all those. They didn't get turned down. They did turn up another bee. It's called a, fuck, what is that thing called? African squid fucking bee or some shit like that. You should see this fucking thing. It's got a tail and it lays its eggs like 6 inches into the tree. And it likes laying its eggs in the tree, and it bores this really deep hole. You think it's a fucking stinger on the back of the thing, because when it goes by you, it goes zzz, when it goes by you and shit, right? This thing's unbelievable. Well, that, I don't know. I don't know if that's a Metellus create. Again, science, that's all for you scientists. I'm not interested in those. But I am interested in the fact that I could not get a bumblebee to go in my stomach and eat up a bunch of Metellus, right? I can't get a ladybug to stick in my fucking ear and go around and eat up all my respiratory Metellus throughout my eyes and then under my eyes and lids and all the places that these Metellus live, because there's all kinds of fucking strains of Metellus, and the respiratory ones are so my point is that you can't do that. So you need the cannibal Metellus. The cannibal Metellus, if you fuck up their frequency and you kill them off in your body because you changed your body's frequency going acidic, right? If your body goes acidic, you're going to change the frequency. You could add heavy metals that are not supposed to be there. You could dampen, like I'm telling you about the trees, the same way the trees dampen the electromagnetic current that's in all around us. The same thing in our bodies. You add these trees in your body, these little funguses and these Metellus all over the place, you're worsening your body. Your electrical system is not functioning properly, just like we do with the rest of the system. Just like that's why we don't paint the houses lead anymore, because it was working too good to kill the Metellus that were floating around all in our homes. It was killing off the Metellus. Even with the 60 hertz sound resonance and the 60 hertz sine waves coming through the walls, it still was beneficial compared to now, where you don't have the same heavy metals all around you. Metal trash cans, metal cabinets, all this metal all around you, all painted with lead paint. So you're making a big magnet out of our homes. We don't do that anymore. We changed all these fucking things. Back to the fucking hay Metellus and the chicken Metellus. So the bird Metellus, that thing changes so many times in that chicken coop and goes back and forth in hybrids, I'll call it, because many of them, they're not having sex. They just go live in that area, and then boom, they magically become, okay, we'll use the word magically. The space aliens go, and the fucking Metellus turns into another type of Metellus. Is that better? Does that make you feel better? Anyways, they get to these other points. Now, there's the scale Metellus that are on the chickens, right? There's fucking a bunch of those too. And they don't even consider those bird Metellus because they don't go under the skin, they don't go into the chicken. They also lie and they tell you that it cannot be passed through an egg on the bio end of the Metellus. They tell you that's bullshit. All of them can be transferred through the egg, which is pretty fucking freaky too when you think about it, because that means the same thing goes for humans and children and babies too. You think that the kids are so protected in the womb from all the diseases and the sicknesses. No way. But it doesn't matter. They don't stand a chance anyway, because as soon as they're born, as Harold said, I give him credit where credit is due, all those fucking vaccinations, all those fucking heavy metals and pumping the Metellus right into your kid when the kid is born. And if you go against it and you tell them you don't want it done, they'll lock your ass up. They'll say you're abusing your child. You won't be able to be part of society. Just like we do to a lot of other cultures over the thousands of years. They don't follow our fucking rules, we lock them up. Anyways, that's what I'm doing, people. This is the end of that one. I'll be back.